Former FBI Director James Comey is headed to court, and the judge presiding over his case is a Biden appointee with a surprising record. The arraignment is now set for October 9th in what could become one of the most politically charged trials of the year. Judge Michael Nachmanoff of the U.S. District Court in Virginia will oversee the Department of Justice's prosecution of Comey. He was nominated by President Joe Biden and confirmed in 2021, with support from all Democrats and 3 Republicans: Susan Collins, Lindsey Graham, and Lisa Murkowski. Interestingly, Nachmanoff isn't seen as a typical activist judge. He's a former public defender, and attorney William Shipley, who has defended dozens of January 6 defendants, said Nachmanoff might actually be the best potential draw among Biden-appointed judges. Comey is facing 2 charges: making false statements to Congress and obstruction of justice. His attorney, Patrick Fitzgerald, strongly denied the allegations, saying Comey looks forward to being vindicated in court.
My family and I have known for years that there are costs to standing up to Donald Trump, but we couldn't imagine ourselves living any other way. We will not live on our knees, and you shouldn't either. Somebody that I love dearly recently said that fear is the tool of a tyrant, and she's right. But I'm not afraid, and I hope you're not either. I hope instead you are engaged, you are paying attention, and you will vote like your beloved country depends upon it, which it does. My heart is broken for the Department of Justice, but I have great confidence in the federal judicial system, and I'm innocent. So let's have a trial and keep the faith.
Judge Nachmanoff has shown independence in past cases. Earlier this year, he sided with the CIA in a lawsuit tied to a doctor who had pushed vaccine mandates under the Biden administration, a decision that was first reported by Politico.
To Judge Nachmanoff, in your Senate Judiciary questionnaire, you briefly mentioned that you spent a period of time serving as a crimes and misdemeanor prosecutor for Herndon, Virginia. So 2 questions in regard to that. Could you tell us a little more about your time as prosecutor? And B, how do you think your experience as both a prosecutor and a public defender has affected your role as a judge?
Thank you for that question, Senator Grassley. I would be delighted to address that. One of the clients of my law firm when I was in private practice for 6 years was the town of Herndon. And in Virginia, towns and municipalities can contract out their prosecutorial functions for misdemeanors. And so I, along with my partner, would regularly go to the town of Herndon and prosecute the misdemeanor dockets. It was a wonderful opportunity, and I valued it greatly. I had served as a paralegal in the Department of Justice before law school, and so I found prosecution work rewarding. It also informed my work as a defense attorney in private practice and as a public defender. I'm a great believer that some of the best defense attorneys have been prosecutors, and some of the best prosecutors have had the experience of representing individual clients as criminal defense attorneys. All of those experiences contributed to the work that I've done for the past 6 years as a magistrate judge in helping me understand the lawyers who come before me and the challenges they face both on the prosecution side and on the defense side.
Okay, my last question will have to be also to you. You've extensively, you have extensively advocated for the repeal of mandatory minimums during your career as a federal public defender. If confirmed, you will be responsible for imposing mandatory minimums if the crime fits the criteria. Are you capable of imposing such sentences, given your strong advocacy against mandatory minimums?
Thank you, Senator. Yes, absolutely. I will be able to impose mandatory minimums where appropriate. And in fact, over the past 6 years, some of my responsibilities have included the imposition of sentences that include mandatory minimums. Magistrate judges cannot sentence in felony cases, but misdemeanor cases that assimilate state law often have mandatory minimums, and I have imposed those sentences. consistent with the law, and if fortunate enough to be confirmed, I would certainly do so and follow the law as a district judge.
Meanwhile, President Donald Trump wasted no time reacting. On Friday, he labeled Nachmanoff crooked, a term he's used for other judges presiding over his cases. With Comey's arraignment now scheduled for October 9th, all eyes will be on this courtroom battle between a former FBI director and the Department of Justice.
President, I'm James Comey. Now that James Comey has been indicted, who is the next person on your list in this retribution?
It's not a list, but I think there'll be others. I mean, they're corrupt. These were corrupt, radical left Democrats. Because Comey essentially was he's worse than a Democrat. I would say the Democrats are better than Comey. But no, there'll be others. Look, that's my opinion. They weaponized the Justice Department like nobody in history. What they've done is terrible. And so I hope there are others, because you can't let this happen to a country.
And will you appoint a permanent U.S. attorney to try this case? Lindsey Halligan has never tried a case.
Well, we'll see, but it's a pretty easy case because, look, he lied. You saw my truth today. He lied. It was yes, no. He didn't say, well, in my opinion, he didn't do a lot of things that maybe he should have, but I don't think he could because he lied. That was a very important question that he was asked, and he wanted to be specific, but he didn't. The only thing that happened to him, he didn't think he'd get caught. That answer that he gave, that was a very important answer, and it was for him, it was a very good answer if he didn't get caught. But he got caught lying to Congress.
How is this not politicizing the justice?
You met the Australian vote. President Trump, are you worried now that the next time there's a Democratic president, they will indict your FBI director or people in your administration?
That's what they tried to do, right? They did it with me for 4 years. They went after me. They went after me for 4 years, and that doesn't include the 4 great years that we had in the White House. So when I ran it from, in 2016 when we won, it began before I got to office. You know that. Wait a minute. Before I came to office, I started hearing rumors about Russia. I said, what the hell do I have to do with Russia? Nothing. And then it got worse and worse, and some of the fake news, not you, but some of the fake news picked it up and they loved it. And we went through a long time with that. And despite that, we had a great first term.
Because that's how it went, where they made you go and take a mugshot. Is this more about justice or is it about revenge?
It's about justice, really. It's not revenge. It's about justice. It's also about the fact that you can't let this go on. They are sick, radical left people, and they can't get away with it. And Comey was one of the people. He wasn't the biggest, but he's a dirty cop. He's always been a dirty cop. Everybody knew it. And it's, as far as the case is concerned, he gave an answer. It was a strong answer. He then verified it a couple of times because that was a very important answer. If he would have equivocated, if he would have been like a little bit less sure, that would have been very bad for him. So he gave an answer. The only problem is for him, he didn't think he'd be caught, and he got caught, Peter.